Hi friends, I hope you are fine. I am Jarlson Jacob, and in this video lesson I'll be sharing with you the different ways by which we can teach the topic how to make request and ask for permission. So my video lesson will have three stages. First one, the warm-up stage. The second one, the presentation stage. And the third one, the practice stage. We all know the importance of warm-up activities. Warm-up activities can be used as a kind of ice-breaking session. Warm-up activities initiate the students to the topic that they are going to learn. The warm-up activity that I have devised is a kind of eliciting response session. I'll be asking them some basic questions for which they have to give me the answer. So the questions that I'm going to ask will have a bearing on the things that they are going to study in the next two sessions. So I'll be asking them, I'll be telling them that I'm planning to go on a tour. So I'll be asking them the questions, can you please tell me the names of places where I can go? Would you tell me the food items that will be available in that place? And some basic questions like that. My talk will be continued for a couple of minutes and they'll be giving me the responses. So that is the warm-up stage. So the warm-up stage creates a platform for me to proceed with my teaching of making requests and asking permissions. So the students will get familiarized with, even though they might not, even though they are not familiar with the types of structures that they can use for making requests and permissions, they will hear what the teacher has told in the class, and some of them might get familiarized with the different structures that can be used for making requests, even though they might not know that these are the structures that can be used for making requests. The next stage is, as I have told you, it is a presentation stage. In the presentation stage, I'll be presenting the topic in a more detailed manner. So this gives the students chances for learning the things in a closer manner. So here what I plan to do is, I would say that the whole class is going for a tour. So we have to plan for it. So what the students are supposed to do is, they have to walk around and meet their friend and collect as many information as they can about places that they can visit. So they have to note down the places, its geographical peculiarities, its climatic conditions, and any other things that are peculiar to that place. So they have to collect as many information. So what they have to do is, they have to do before before sending the students to have a chat with their friends. The teacher, as a teacher, I would ask them to do two things. First one, they have to get the permission of their friends. That means they have to ask whether they are willing to give their answers. Second one, they have to ask questions based on the expressions given on the blackboard. So on the blackboard, they can see a set of expressions or questions that they can use while they chat with their friends. So that the students have to use the structures or the expressions that are on the board. So in a way, I'll be presenting the different structures like can you, could you, will you, or would you mind, and all. And then with the help of structures, they have to chat with their friends and collect information. So when that is over, they can talk to 2 or 3 of their friends and they will collect information and they'll come back to their seat. And then I'll ask some of my students to present what they have collected. So they will come to the front of the class and speak out or read out or would say what they have collected, the places that they can go on a tour. Then here when the students make some mistake, for example, would you plus whenever we make a request with a structure, would you mind, you have to use ing form, present participle form of the verb. And whenever the students make mistakes, as a teacher, I would not correct at that moment of time, but I would note down the different mistakes that the students have made. And after the presentation of the students, I would not pinpoint to each and every student and pinpoint his mistake. Instead, I would make a general comment of the mistakes that they have made in the class. Yes. So moving on to the third session, as I have told you, it is the practice session. Here, the students will get a chance to practice what they have learned from the first activity, that is the warm-up activity, and the second activity, that is the presentation activity. Yes, so here what they have to do is they are going to read and understand the experiences of a travel blogger, okay, or travel blogger. So they are going to know more about that person, the different places that he had gone, and his experiences. But the problem is, in order to get the full details of the person, they have to go through 2 cards. But here I'll ask them to sit in a pair, and each one will get a card. For example, I would get a card and my friend would get another card. But the things that are there in my card will be missing in the other one's card. So what I have to do is, in order to get the full information, I have to share the information that I have with my friend. So what the students should do is, they'll sit in pairs, they'll read out the cards given to them, and they would ask the one sitting next to them or to the pair, using the request structures that they have studied. They would ask their friend, or they would request their friend to share the information that is there in their card. So after the friend had given the information, shared the information, the one who is holding this card will share the information, his information, to the other one. So after the information sharing is over, they'll get the detailed information of the person, of the travel blogger, the different places that he had gone, his experiences, etc., etc. So this is basically this is a kind of information gap activity. So I'll be sharing my information and he has to share his information. Yes. So here the beauty is, this is a very good speaking activity, but more than that, I'll insist my students to use the structures that they have used in the earlier sessions, that is in the warm-up session and in the presentation session. Okay, so they'll collect the information and they'll share the information, and then they will read out the entire information in that small group. So paired group activity is very important because it can save the time. For example, if a pair is coming in front of the class and they are speaking to the class, then the whole class has to listen to the persons who are speaking. But instead, if they are speaking in small groups, they'll get more time to speak. Okay, so this is the activity, 3 guided activities that I have planned in order to teach them how to make a request and ask for permissions. And one thing about informal assessment, in all these 3 sessions, the teacher can walk around if she has a paper and a pen with her or with him. He or she can note down the different mistakes that the students are making, and towards the end of the class, when the revision session comes, he can or she can speak about the different mistakes that the students are making while they make request or ask for permissions. So this is a kind of informal assessment. So assessments need not be paper pencil test, but instead it can be a kind of feedback given by the teacher for the students so that they can improve their performance the next time. So hope you have enjoyed this this video session. Thanks for listening to me. Thank you very much.